Bitcoin, y'all. I'm your host, Zoom Out. Here to talk to you about Bitcoin. So start with a disclaimer. This is not financial advice. I am not a financial professional. If you decide you want to buy Bitcoin, do your own research, talk to your financial advisor, decide if it's right for you and your portfolio. With that out of the way, let's talk about what Bitcoin is. I've been looking into it. I'm trying to gain my knowledge, and part of that, I think, that's important to retain that knowledge is to teach others. And so that's why I'm here today. I hope that somebody out there or some people out there find some of this information that I'm sharing valuable to them and helpful. And then I also hope that I get a better grasp of it myself. So today I just want to talk about what is it? What is Bitcoin? All right, and it starts off simple. It is internet money. So what is the internet? Internet is a messaging system. It is a relatively inexpensive way for one person, no matter where they are in the world, to communicate with someone else, no matter where they are in the world, as long as you both have access to the internet. Money is a little more complicated, but it's a means of exchanging wealth, right? I've got $20, you've got a t-shirt. You're charging $20 for that t-shirt. I pay you $20, I get the t-shirt. You can turn around, you can spend that money on your mortgage or on your on some food, and so it's a representation of the wealth, and it's easier to transact in an economy with some type of representation of the wealth rather than just the wealth itself, right? So just the wealth itself would be like a bartering system. So if I grew apples and you had dairy farm, we could trade apples for milk. Then I might end up with too much milk, or you might end up with too many apples and they're spoiling. It just doesn't work as good. So if we have a way to represent that wealth, then we can interact and the economy can flow more smoothly. So that's the simple version of money. But money has to have some properties that make it workable. So it needs to be verifiable, right? Because if you look at like a cash bill, it's got a serial number on it. It's got a date on it. It's got some things on it that you can use to verify whether it's actually what it's supposed to be. So if you have two bills, two $20 bills, and they've got the same serial number on them, you know one of them is fake. That means you can verify that one of them is fake, and then it can be tracked. You can help track if money is stolen, and then you know that this serial number was stolen, and so you can verify that. It allows you to build trust into the system, and so that's kind of the simple way to look at it. Bitcoin is internet money, and so it is. You'll hear the term trustless, and what that means is that it is verified, but it's not verified by a centralized entity like a government or a group of people. It's verified through math equations. So very intense math equations that verify that when transactions happen, that those transactions actually occurred, and that now that money has been transferred from one person to another, and it can't be double spent or can't be counterfeit, right? So Bitcoin builds in the verification system through intense math equations, and that's what we call mining Bitcoin. And so you can think of it kind of like puzzle pieces, but each puzzle piece is a group of transactions that have been verified, okay? And that's one block, and it's published. Every 10 minutes, a new group of transactions is published, and that's the next block. And then it has to fit together. The puzzle pieces have to fit together, and they fit together and they form a chain. That's what we mean when we say the blockchain. It's fairly simple to grasp, just that basic understanding. The means of doing it, of the math equations, the way the coding on it works is much more complicated. But the point is that it builds in a way to verify the transactions so that there's no doubt. So Bitcoin is verifiable money, and it is immutable. That means that it can't be changed as code that controls an algorithmic code that controls exactly how often, which every 10 minutes, that the blocks are going to be added. There is a reward to the miners paid. That is what we call Bitcoin the asset. And then those rewards decrease. They have every 4 years, and the code executes after I think it's this could be wrong, guys, but it's around 120 years, 118 years, something like that. The last Bitcoin will be mined. All right. So there was so it's got a hard cap. There will be 21 million and only 21 million ever. So it's immutable, in that cannot be changed. That is it. And then it is decentralized. And decentralized means that things are verified. These blocks of transactions form a chain, and that is essentially just a record of transactions. So a record of transactions is called a ledger. That's it. That's all a ledger is. It's a way of recording things. So in this case, the transactions that are recorded are the ledger. That ledger is uploaded to it exists not on one server out there, where if that server went down, Bitcoin would go down, right? We know about that in our internet world, where the server goes down and all of a sudden you don't have access to that website. All right, Bitcoin doesn't work that way. It's decentralized. So if you wanted today to take one of your computers and set up what's called a node, all right, all a node is a computer that stores a copy of the ledger on it. So every 10 minutes, a new block is added, and every node throughout the world updates, and they all match. They're all the same. And there are thousands or tens of thousands of nodes running throughout the world. You could choose to do one in your own home. You'd have to do a little research and figure out how to install it on a computer, but you could do that. And there's no reward for that. There is a reward. There's no financial reward. The reward is being a good Samaritan. And lucky for us, there are a lot of good Samaritans out there doing good work. And so that makes it to where not only is it not controlled by humans in the sense of it can't be manipulated, it can be inflated, you can't create more just because you want more. No one can choose to do that. It also is decentralized. So it's verifiable, it's decentralized, it's immutable, and it's borderless, right? It's based on the internet, so it can go cross border and go anywhere in the world. It's worth the same amount everywhere. At whatever one Bitcoin is worth, it's worth that same amount everywhere, and that's the value of it. That's what it is. That's the amazing technology Bitcoin represents, or that it is, and that has never existed before. We never had the ability to have a money that was all of those things until Bitcoin. So, and look, Bitcoin wasn't the first attempt at it, okay? Since the internet's been around, they've been working on this. They've been trying to do digital cash, digital forms of payments that were these things. But they figured it out. Some people or a person figured it out, figured out the code, solved some problems, and created Bitcoin. And now we have it. And now that it exists, as long as the internet exists, it will exist forever. So that's the basics as I understand them. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more videos, hit subscribe. The next video, little teaser, I'm going to go into how to buy Bitcoin without spending a transaction fee. All right, so it'll only cost you what the price of Bitcoin is. It won't cost you anything extra. Stay tuned for that. If you have any questions, feel free to ask your questions below. I'd be happy to answer them. But please, I ask that you keep them pertaining to Bitcoin. I don't have any intentions of going at this point, going into any other of the cryptocurrencies out there on this channel. So, hey, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for your time. Talk to you again soon.